So hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about functions in Python. We're going to cover basic topics as well as advanced topics. So if you're a beginner or want to learn about functions in Python, you're at the right place. Also, in the description, I will be providing all of the notes that I will be using in this video. If you want to download it, just click the link in the description. Let's begin. So first of all, what we will be seeing is what is a function? Why use function? Basically, functions are just a thing. We give them some input and they perform some operations on that input and they give us the output. So these are functions. You'll better understand this once we start coding. Okay, so first let us see syntax defining and calling functions in Python. So it's simple. Just have to use the def keyword with a function name, a colon, and after the colon, press enter, and there will be indentation. As you all know, Python don't have brackets, it has indentation. Okay, so this is a function. Type something like print hello for now, and then after that we can call the function by using its name like this. So this is the basic syntax of function in Python. So this is how function is defined and it's called. You can perform a lot of operations here. For example, if you have hello multiple times, you just need to call this once, and then you can just, if you want to use it again, you can use it multiple times. So if I run this code, it will print hello multiple times. You just define it once, call the function, and it will do it again and again and again. Let us see a simple function, def greet. And what this function will do, and then we can call it like this. Run this code, it will give you the output. So if you do it multiple times, it will give you multiple outputs. So this is the basics about function, why we use function and how to define. Let us move towards the next part, which will be function arguments. So now let us understand function arguments. So it's simple. What are function arguments? For example, if you have a function like greet, it tells hello. And if you call this function, and if you run this code, it will give us the output. But what if we want to give some inputs to the function, like hello, some name? I want to tell this function, like, please say hello to this thing. So how are we going to do it? If we have multiple calls, we're just going to say hello. But what if we want something dynamic, like hello, Leo, and then like this? So it's going to say, so I don't want this. I want it to say hello plus something else, a name of the person. So we have arguments. So I can pass name, and then what I can do is I can do this, and then I can pass this argument to this function. For example, Leo, and also we can pass something like OEL or UL, and it will say get the output like this. So yeah, we can do this in functions. So these are arguments, and it helps the function to perform some dynamic task. For example, if we change this example to an add function, we'll rename it. We'll give the parameters as a and b. So we can give multiple parameters. And what this function will do, this function will print a plus b. Now let us run this code, pass some arguments 1 and 2. So we get the output as 3. So these are function arguments. Let us see different type of function arguments. Positional arguments. So what are they? They're very simple. These are normal arguments that we have. For example, a, b, and c. So these are positional arguments. So if I call this function like f2, I'm going to pass 1, 2, and 3. So if I pass this thing, let us first remove this return statement. We don't need it. We'll use print a plus b plus c for now. We'll talk about return statement afterwards. So if I call this function like this and I pass 1, so 1 will be stored in a, 2 will be stored in b, and 3 will be stored in c, and the operations will be performed. For example, if you want to print a, b, and c, we'll do it. Print a, print b, print c. Like this. If I run this code, we get 1, 2, and 3, and 6. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and the output of adding all of them is this. So these are positional arguments. It's nothing but the first position, the second position, the third position. So in Python, there also exists keyword arguments. What are keyword arguments? Let us understand by this example. So if we have a function like this, def f3 with arguments a, b, and c, we can call this function like this, f3, a is equal to, we can directly tell the function that I'm going to give this value particular to the a variable. So we can do something like this. 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 3. So we can do this. Best part of this is, it doesn't matter in which order you give it. So it's like, you can give something like this, and it will still work. Let us print the output. We get 6. So let us print all of the variables. Get the variable something as this. A holds 1, B holds 3, and C holds 2 as we are passing to this function. So these are keyword arguments. So Python also have default arguments. For example, we want the C parameter to be optional. Like the user can, if he wants, he can provide the C parameter or not. So what we'll do, we'll declare C as a default parameter. So C will by default hold this value. Okay, let us see what's the output for now. If you don't pass the last value, C will be holding 0. So let's print this. So you get 1, 2, and 0. So this is the default argument. And the rule for defining the default argument is that it should be after the positional argument like this. I cannot do something like C is equal to 0 here. It should be at the end. The last thing we are going to learn about the arguments is variable length arguments, which means if you have a function like this, we'll have this. We'll have this thing, a star in front of an argument. And what we're going to do, we're going to print this arg for now. So if we call this function empty list for now. But what if I pass some values? 1, 2, and 3. I'll get all the values in a tuple. If you want to access this first parameter, you have to just do this and get the first parameter. You want to print all of the parameters? Print all of the parameters. You can use a for loop for e in args, not args, but arg, and then print e like this. Let us see. We get the output 1, 2, and 3. So these are variable length argument. It differs in length, so you can pass multiple parameters also. 5, 6, like this. A good example of this will be to define a sum function of our own with the args. And we'll do sum is equal to 0. Then for e in args, we're gonna sum plus equals e, and then we are gonna print sum. You can also do this thing. So if I run this sum function, sum with the argument 1 and 2, it will give us the output as 3. And if I add multiple numbers, for example, this will still work and give us the sum of all the numbers. So yeah, like this we can use the variable length arguments. So now let us understand return statement. Up till now we have learned we can pass arguments to the function, we can perform operations in the function, but now we'll learn how we can return some value from the function. So let us define a function called sum. We'll take arguments as a and b. Then it's gonna return a plus b. So it's going to basically return the sum of both of these numbers. So what's going to happen in this, if you call this function sum 1 and 2. So let's run this code. If we run this code, we don't get any output because this function is getting called. It has the values. It's returning something. It's not going to print. So we can do something like out is equal to, and then print this out. Like this. So run this code now, we get the output as 3. What's happening? We're calling the function here. It's getting called. It has the values 1 and 2. It's going to sum it and it's going to return it. And after the function return the value, it's going to store in the out, and then we are printing the out. So this is return statement. So function can have multiple return statement. Let us understand that by an example. If we have max function with 2 arguments a and b, what this function is going to do, it's going to return us number which is maximum. For example, if a is greater than b, it's going to return a, and if b is greater than a, it's going to return b. We'll use if and else for this. So if a is greater than b, this is going to return a, or else we are going to return b. So it's a simple function. We'll be storing the output in this out variable, and we're going to call this function for 1 and 2, and at the end we're going to print it. After run this code, we get the output as 2. A function can not only return a single value, but more than one value in Python. For example, we have a function something like this. It can return us a list of something like this, and we're going to store this into the out variable, and we are going to print it. So we can do something like this in Python. So calling this function is returning us this list, and we're storing that list into this out variable, and we're going to print it. So it can be, the use case can be anything. The only thing is that Python function can return any data type. For example, list, a tuple, a string, anything. So now let us learn about some advanced topic in Python functions. So what if you want to create a function such as add, and which is going to just return the sum of a plus b, and you call this function with the arguments 1 and 2, store the result in the output in the out variable, and then print it. So yeah, so we get the output. Now what if you can just define this in one line, in one statement? It can happen, it's possible. So for this case, we can use anonymous function called Lambda. Lambda function is a small anonymous function defined using the Lambda keyword, Lambda, arguments, and then expression. Let us understand this, how we can do it. We can define add is equal to Lambda, and then the arguments, for example, a and b. And what this function is going to do, it's going to return a plus b. Let us now run this code and check. So you get the same out. So this is the second way of defining function. So in Python, we can also have a nested function. For example, a function inside a function. Let's see what is this. So if I have a function, we have a print statement here, outer, and then we have another function, inner function, which do a print statement, inner. We can define function inside of function in Python. We can return this inner function from this outer function like this. Let us see how we can use this. So what we are going to do, we are going to store out is equal to outer function. We are going to call this outer function. Now let us see what this outer variable has. So we run this code, output something like this. So actually this variable is holding this function in it. So we can just give a call to that function like this. We run this code, we get the output like outer and inner. For this call, this is running and it's returning this function and it's storing in the out variable, and then we are calling the function that is stored in the out variable. Let us understand now about closure. So what is a closure? Let us understand it by an example. If you have a function something like this and we have a value, for example name is equal to Leo inside of this function, and this function has another function in it called tell name, and this function prints the name, and after this function we define this function, we are going to return this inner function. Call this function the outer function and store the value inside this out variable. Now what's going to happen, as this outer function has this name variable in it and it's going to define a function, then we are going to return the tell name, the inner function, and then we are going to call the inner function. If we call this, we get the output as Leo. So how we are getting this? So this is due to closure. This is closure. Closure means that this inner function, after the outer function is executed, this inner function still have the value of name. So this is closure. It's similar to JavaScript. It's also there in Python. So let us now talk about decorate. A decorator is a function that takes another function as input, adds some functionality and returns it. For example, if you have a function like decorator, name is this thing, then what this function does is takes a function as an argument, performs some operation. For example, this function will be having another function in it like wrapper, and what this function is going to do, print hello, and then it's going to call this function, the function which we are passing, and then print end. Rather than hello, we'll name it as start. Okay, and at the end this function is going to return this wrapper. So now for example, if you have a function like say, and it prints this sentence, my name is Leo, and we are going to use this decorator. So how we are going to do this, we're just going to add this $sign and DEC. Okay, if we run this code now, we get output something like this: start, my name is Leo, and then end. So what's happening here is that we are defining this function. By doing so, we are calling this function say, and we are passing this function, to the decorator. It's getting here. Then inside of it, there's a wrapper function. Okay, this function. So inside of this function, we are changing the functionality of this function. So it's a little complex, but yeah, it's there. Let us see the last topic which we are going to talk about, which is recursion. So recursion simply means if you have a function, something like this, with an argument, the function call itself again and again with an argument. We're not calling the function outside. This is not going to give us any output for now because we're not calling the function. The function is calling itself inside of its body. So if we do something like this and pass an argument, and also we are going to do something like this, and if we run this code now, it will run for infinity. Okay, because we are not stopping. We are calling this function now here, then we are printing hello, then we are calling this function again. So after this line will get executed, again this line, and this and this, it will go on. Example, if we can also do something like, and we want to pass a plus 1, we can also do this. We run this code, it runs for 1,000 times as you can see here, and it ends. How we can stop this function? It's very simple. What we can do, if a is greater than 10, we are just going to return. So if we run this code now, the function run 10 times and it exists. So this is recursion. It simply means that function call itself. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day. So if you have any topics in your mind which you want to learn or which you want to explore, you can comment it in the description. I will try to create a video on it. Also make sure please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.